Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
So good to see you too.
Well, here we are. Finally got our beautiful guest on
Yes.
today. Good morning. I really am feeling, for some reason, like it really is a good morning.
Yeah, I'm with you today.
I'm not always feeling that
Yeah.
these days, are we? Depending on what we've seen in the news or what's going on in our lives. So, Abby, would you like to introduce our
Oh,
lovely
I would
guest?
so love to. Today we have Heather Feuerhelm with us. Heather has been a lifelong educator, working for 34 years in the education system.
Wow.
A teacher. She now is an associate principal at a high school in Iowa. It was her sister who got her involved in turning the wheel. And she was saying that that first experience, what she loved so much about it was how accepted she felt with everybody in the group and through that experience, which is just so lovely. And we've had the honor of being in Heather's classrooms multiple times, and the type of educator that Heather is just so beautiful and rich, and she truly sees all her students as whole, authentic people. And so it's just been such a pleasure for us to work with you, Heather.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, I was want to add that for us, it's been such a two-way street
Yeah.
that we've learned so much from you.
Mhm.
And that's so exciting when the partnership is such that we reveal and learn and feed back each other and pay attention to impact. And I mean, we are really in awe of what you do day after day after day after day with, in the other's case, extremely challenged kids who've had a rough life. They haven't had what they needed. And coming from that story myself, I really get the difference somebody like Heather can make in their lives. So there was people like you, individual teachers and individual people who helped me climb out of my family story. So I just admire you so much. So thank you for being
Yeah.
here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and we're going to do a little exercise together, and then we're going to get to chat with Heather some more. And we were thinking one of the things we talked with Heather about is what do you do when something occurs that just really is rocking your world? You're just like, it's just not, you just can't go, oh, this will be fine. I can handle this. It's like there's a part of you that shows up and handles it, and another part that is just totally adrenalized, totally, on alert. And it takes a lot out of you. And how do you come back to finding your own center,
Yeah.
and restoring your well-being from something like that? And this can be everything from us almost having a car accident, little things like that that happen. Somebody's rude in the grocery store and you're going, whoa, what did I do? All the way to violence and, threats of danger in our lives. It's all there. It's the whole range, right? And so I was thinking we promised to review some of the things we've been doing because people, don't come every week, and also they want to remember things we've done, things that we do more often than because we're teaching them, right? So, oh, hello, Carol is here. Hello, Carol. It's fun to see somebody on the screen. So let's do a beautiful thing that a sound healer called Vicky Dodd taught us. That is a way that is not, we teach a lot of kind of quiet meditative journeys on these things, but this is a little more active. So when you're really out there, sometimes you can't just go, okay, I'm just going to breathe through my heart. You just can't even get your hands to your heart at first. So this is a little bit more um, structural, which might be fun. That helps me sometimes a lot. So let's try it. It's called I Am Here, and it's one of my favorites. And Abby will do it standing up because I think it's important to stand up if you're comfortable with that. But a lot of folks can't stand up, or they're in a wheelchair, or they have, don't feel well that day, they have chronic conditions. You can do this laying on your back in bed, you can do it sitting up, you can do it standing, any way that's comfortable for you. So I will sit and Abby will stand and Heather will join us. So you do this by letting your hand travel. We'll sort of tell you first, then we'll do it together. And Heather's done this many times, so you can do it with me, Heather. But you let your hand travel from the top of your head all the way down to the base of your spine. And you are imagining as you slowly move down that you are massaging the inside of your spine, which causes an enormous amount of peace. It literally quiets that fight or flight response to reach in there. And as you go down and as you reach inside, just noticing your breath, not any effortful breath, soften your belly. Say, I am here out loud to yourself, and I know who I am.
I am here and I know who I am.
I'm here, and I know who I am. I am here, and I know who I am.
I am here.
And I know who I am.
And when you reach the bottom of your spine, you just take a nice breath and you bring your hand to the top, and you do this 3 times. So let's do it another time together here. I am here, and I know who I am.
I am here and I know who I am.
Here,
I
and
am
I know who
here.
I am.
And I know who I am.
Just taking your time, soothing your whole nervous system. I am here and I know who I am. I am here and I know who I am. Let's do it one more time. Last time together. Take your time and let your whole body soothe into this softening, quiet moment. I am here
I am here.
and I know who I am.
And I know.
who I am.
I am here and I know who I am.
I am here. And I know who I am.
I
I'm
am
here and I know who I am.
and I know who I
Mm. And then just bring your hands to your heart and let that oxytocin pump into your bloodstream. And just breathe in and out through your heart for a moment and rest into that quiet place of restoration. Mm. Just resting for a moment, nothing to do or fix, just resting. Mm. And just letting your eyes blink open and come back. If we weren't on a time slot here, we might stay there longer. Once you land there, you might just want to take another 30, 40 seconds, not that long in our lives. This is a 3-4 minute ritual to restore your energy. Yeah.
I needed that.
That's
Good.
amazing. I mean, I'm just stunned at how I think I'm doing just fine. And then I do a ritual of well being to start my day. And I suddenly realized that I'd already ramped up a little,
Yeah.
into doing, being, accomplishing, showing up, being enough, for being enough for Monday morning, yes, right? Instead of, all right, it's okay, we're here and we're good. And I just want to add one more thing, which is you can change those second words. I am here and all is well. I am here and I'm ready to be myself. I am here and I appreciate me. You can say whatever words your little soul is needing right then, your deeper true self. What assurance is that part of you needing as you drop in? And something may pop in, and I know who I am is fine. If that's just a fine way to make it a ritual. If something else pops in, let it be yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk a little together about things that are occurring in our own lives and tools or ways that we reset,
Yeah.
and how that was for each of us today. We talked a little about that already, didn't we? Heather, would you like to weigh in on this for us?
Yeah, so one of the things that I have been doing, especially when things go crazy, we have things like admin of the day where I don't have a moment for myself because I have to respond to whatever the needs are. But most of the time, I can take 5 or 10 minutes and, things have just ramped up and I'm feeling some sort of way. I come back to the Monday morning yeses and rewatch them.
And
I
that helps.
do I do breathing exercises just to give myself some space and some peace in the crazy that happens just in being. So it really helps me bring myself back, especially when something big happens that you have to respond to it as an administrator. But then I need to come back to me so that I'm okay and can serve kids.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The word serve, huh? Talk a little about that. I mean, you're in service all the time. That's
Yeah,
your work.
yeah. So really, there's so much going on in our students' lives. Same kinds of things that are happening in our world are happening in our smaller world in their schools. Um, and they need people to love them. They need people who are there and can reach out. They need to learn things about resetting themselves. We have um, social emotional learning that we do in the classroom, that we take time and play games and we, do the things that help bring their humanity into the classroom. And of course, it's about the learning. The learning is more than just pouring information into a kid. It is really about the service that we provide in building relationships, in finding a place in community, and that's what turning the wheel has done for me, is brought me a community that is a safe space. And so I try to bring that out into the world wherever I go.
Yeah, indeed you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking about what you just said about safety, because that's one of the things we think is an external issue. And it's like part of what I like about I Am Here is that I am sourcing my own safety. Because once I ground into my body, now I have all my creative being available again. I've let go of fear and I can problem solve with movement, with I can actually be in motion again. And yeah, just how much fear is the base of a lot of what we live in, all of us. It's not just about the challenged kids, um, how much we make it other. Whereas my own fear of being who enough and not remembering, who I am, can really end up stopping me in my creative service. And I think what I particularly admire about the all dayness of the work that you do is that it's a sort of unrelenting.
Yeah.
And so talk a little about balance, how you find balance in this life of such service that you live.
I tell my staff all the time, learning is spaced repetition. That's true for the kids, that's true for us. And that's one of the reasons that Monday Morning Yes works for me, is because, yes, I've done this over and over and over again, but you get in the thick of thin things and suddenly you forget what you could do to bring your own amygdala down. One of the things that I've worked really hard on is lending my calm when there's crisis. Um, I'm not always good at that, but I know that when somebody is calm sitting next to me, that's totally different than the craziness that's all around. And so it allows space to calm down in crisis and be able to think things through so that the brain's not firing off so much. So I borrow calm from my peers. I borrow calm from the teachers or the other staff members or the Monday morning yes, and say, this is what I need to be able to ground in and do the hard things that are going to come up that I don't even know are coming yet. And that's okay because there's peace in knowing that this is service.
I love the idea of borrowing
That
calm.
is so beautiful. I love it too.
Tell me when you might have borrowed some calm, Abby.
Yeah, I was thinking about what I do when I'm especially like in that crazy chaotic moment. Um and like especially in the moment where I forget to like kind of ground into my feet or put my hand on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I reach out to another person. And I was thinking that through, but then you said it so perfectly, Heather. I'm reaching out to somebody else's calm, right? So I'm reaching out to a support, someone who has that calm to help me kind of take a breath for a second. Um, so I really love that because I was kind of curious, like, why am I reaching out, in support? But it's exactly for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great phrase, I think, to move into the week with, that you borrow calm from connection to
Yeah.
others. You borrow calm from the universe, from the great spirits, whoever they are for you. I mean, that's one of the places when I'm in the middle of a classroom and things are going wacky. It's like, whoa, okay, I'm at your service. Send me tell me what to do here. It's like I feel like it's never me. I feel like I'm always channeling something
Yeah.
from borrowing.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And it's sort of a less, I don't know, less, I don't know, arrogant word than channeling. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think we
Well,
do channel.
I was thinking about one of the times that we know is hardest for students is when there's not routine. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're on spring break right now. And while we tend to think that that's time to restore and go do things, well, that's not the best time for all of us all the time. So one of the things that I went around to do to borrow calm and to lend my own calm is I took pictures with my students and said, I need to have you with me over the next week, and I'll send you a picture so that we're together,
Mm.
even when you're, so if you're having a rough time, here I am,
Oh,
just trying to make that connection.
that's a beautiful story. So that's sharing calm.
Yeah.
And that's the other side of it. I love this. This is something we've never really tuned into. We think of it different ways.
Yeah.
But it's so accessible. So this week, play with who can you share some calm with through loving kindness and affirmation of them, and who can you borrow some calm from who's having a quiet moment when you're not, right?
Yeah.
I love this. All right.
And I think I'm just even thinking like there might be a time now when I might text you, Heather, and be like, "Hey, do you have some calm I can borrow?" Right? It's such a I love that kind of entry into like I need some support. Do you have some calm? And it's just so
I,
great.
Yeah.
I think Elena, maybe it was you that said, if you ask for what you need, you live 10 years longer than if you withhold what, so
Yeah.
asking for what you need, and it's okay to borrow calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, asking for what you want. It's so big, isn't it? It's just so big, especially for all of us who are in service. We forget,
Yeah.
to ask for what we want. It's like we're always looking at what somebody else wants. So that looping that Katie Hendricks talks about is so important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, goodness, this was very rich. We
Yes.
got a lot of tools to take forward. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Heather, for being with us this morning. And I'm going to really focus on that looping of borrowing and sharing calm in the week ahead. And I just think that's a powerful way to look at how do we connect more deeply with each other. So Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
And thank you, everybody who's listening, whenever you're listening.
Yeah.
We're so grateful. Don't forget to let us know stories about
Yeah.
your borrowing and sharing of calm. We love that. All right. Take care, everybody.
Have a great week. We'll
Love
see you
you.
next Monday.